Jai Shri Ram, Betal story, the magic pill. So there was a king, and he had a beautiful daughter. She went to a picnic, and when she went into a picnic, she went to a garden. It's a beautiful garden. There, a young man happened to be sleeping, unknown to everybody. He saw the princess and fell in love with her. Right? She also fell in love with him. There was mutual admiration. And then, of course, she went home. She is a princess. This fellow went home. And then he realized that the king would obviously not give his daughter in marriage to a commoner like this fellow. So he was pining and he was sad. So he met a yogi. And the yogi said, after he came to know the situation, then he said, okay, don't worry, I have two magic pills. Keep this in your mouth and you will turn into a young woman. And he took the other pill and he became an old man. So both went to the king's palace. And this old man told the king that, sir, this is my daughter. I'm actually going out searching for her husband, who has gone somewhere and who is lost. So I want you to take care of my daughter, my daughter-in-law, so that she is taken care of and all that. So king said, okay, fine. And the king allowed this girl to be a friend of his daughter. Now the rest of the story you can guess. So after some time, the princess and this girl, that is the youth who has now become like a girl, became good friends. And one day, the princess was also pining in love and she was very sad. So this fellow asked her, the girl asked the other girl, and she said, I'm in love with a young man. Then this fellow said, okay. Then he showed her the truth. He removed the pill from his mouth and he became the young man. So they were very happy and they began continuing living like that for quite some time. Now the twists will appear. Betala Gathas are full of twists. So at night he used to become the male. During daytime he remained the female so that nobody would know exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, the king had a cousin who had a daughter, and he arranged the marriage of his cousin's daughter with the son of his minister. Okay, and so the king's cousin's daughter was now married to the king's minister's son, and the minister's son saw this girl. There's actually a youth who has become a maiden. He fell in love with this female. Now the complications will begin. And this fellow was so hopelessly in love. The king's cousin asked his son-in-law, hey dear son-in-law, what is the matter with you? Are you not happy with the marriage? Has my daughter committed some mistake? Tell me, I will rectify the situation. But this fellow was so lost in love. The king realized that unless something is done, this fellow will die. And if he dies, my minister will die, and that will be bad for the kingdom. So he consulted his ministers. They all said, the kingdom comes first. Rashtra Sarvopari. Now, the ministers actually advised the king that the duty of the king is protection and welfare of the subjects. Therefore, he must take a decision, keeping that in mind. So now the king arranged the wedding of this girl, who is actually a youth, to the minister's son. Okay? And this fellow, who is in the form of the girl, he told the king, sir, my father-in-law left me here and went about searching for my husband, and instead of taking care of me, now you are now getting me married to another. What is this, sir? And then he said, I'm a Brahmin and your minister's son is a Kshatriya. So I want my husband, who is a Kshatriya, to spend 6 months going to all holy places and bathing in holy rivers, so that we can stay together. Because otherwise, as a Brahmin, I am a Brahmin and he is a Kshatriya. So she gave all these weird suggestions. So the king and the minister's son agreed to this, and So the marriage was finalized and the minister's son went out on a pilgrimage. Now, so this fellow, he was staying with the first wife. That is, the king's cousin's daughter. And now the second wife of the minister's son. These two are living together. And now one more twist in the story. This girl, who was the king's cousin's daughter, was very sad. And then this fellow, who is now the second wife, asked, "Why are you sad?" And she said, "My husband is gone." And so this fellow narrated a story about Aila. Aila, you see in Puranas, Aila belonged to the Surya Vamsham. He was cursed to become a woman. In that form, he met the deity Buddha, son of Chandra, and fell in love with him. And Pururavas was said to have been born as a result of their union. The maiden then added, it is said that certain magic pills can make people change forms for the sake of love. So, the earlier girl, the king's cousin's daughter, said that she is feeling very sad and lost, and so this girl also said, "I am also feeling." Then anyway, I have a magic pill. I can turn into a man whenever I want. So saying, he removed the magic pill from his mouth and revealed himself as a man. Now the king's cousin's daughter now fell in love with this fellow. Now they started living together, and several months passed away. And the minister's son came back from his travels. And in the meanwhile, this fellow ran away, eloped with the king's cousin's daughter. So in the meanwhile, that fellow's first friend, who became the sadhu, Siddhi Yogi, old man, he came back. He went to the king's palace and with his son, and he said, "Sir, where is my daughter-in-law?" And the king was worried about the Brahmin's curse. Now, the scary situation. He told him that, your daughter-in-law ran away. So daughter-in-law ran away. He didn't say that she eloped with and all that. So this fellow, this hermit, he said, he pretended to get very angry. "If that is the case, then you must get my son married to your daughter now." The king agreed. And so now it's a strange twist again. So the king's daughter now married the old man's son, and they both left. And in the meanwhile, our hero, the fellow who caused all these problems, he came to know, and he went to this fellow's, sadhu's, yogi's house, and started quarreling that the princess is my wife. And he quarreled with that fellow also. "Your father, he is a yogi, all right, but he now got you married to my wife, and what is all this nonsense?" So he started saying, "The princess is mine. Her father, the king, got me married to her in the presence of, I married her, and I actually had a Gandharva marriage with her in the palace." So this is what he said. But that fellow, the yogi's son, said, No, you're my father and the king got me married in the presence of the holy fire, and all the marriage rituals were done and all that, blah, blah, blah. Now the question, Vikrama, is being asked by Betal. Whose wife is she? That's the question. Whose wife is she? Whose wife is really she? Or who deserves to have her as his wife? And Vikrama gave the answer. I won't tell you the answer now. Think about it and let me know what you think. Jai Shri Ram.